If this video appeared on your screen, it is not random. It is not the algorithm playing tricks. It is a message written beyond time, waiting for this exact moment. You were chosen to see this. Inside your soul lives a forgotten memory, the Atlantean Code. It is not just a story, not just a legend, not just a myth from a lost civilization. The Atlantean Code is a living frequency, a vibration older than history, hidden deep in your DNA, encrypted within your higher self, carried through lifetimes by the Starseeds, the Seekers, the Guardians, and the Priestesses of Light. Atlantis was never truly destroyed. Atlantis was never fully lost. It was concealed, hidden in the collective memory of the chosen ones, those who were destined to awaken in this age of remembrance. If your heart beats faster as you hear these words, if your spirit feels a shiver of recognition, it is because the Atlantean frequency has already begun to stir within you. This is not coincidence. This is activation. The temples of Atlantis may have fallen into the ocean, but their crystalline codes were woven into the eternal grid of consciousness. The Atlantean priestesses carried the sacred fire, and the Atlantean guardians preserved the code across timelines so that in this very moment you could remember. The truth is simple. You are not just watching a video. You are standing inside an energetic temple, and this is your initiation. The Atlantean Code awakens through you. Chapter 1: The Call of Remembrance. The very first sign of the Atlantean awakening is the call of remembrance. It does not shout, it does not demand. It begins as a whisper, a vibration at the edge of awareness. You may notice synchronicities, the same numbers repeating everywhere. 111, 222, 333. You may dream of temples made of crystal, or hear names like Atlantis echoing in your heart with no explanation. You may feel a strange pull toward sacred geometry, toward symbols, toward ancient wisdom that seems strangely familiar. This is not coincidence. This is the Atlantean frequency moving again inside you. It is the same frequency that guided the chosen ones of Atlantis, the vibration that filled the golden temples with light, the current of energy that awakened the Atlantean priestesses and lifted entire civilizations into higher consciousness. The remembrance comes like waves, sometimes gentle, sometimes overwhelming. You may feel it as déjà vu, as visions in your dreams, as sudden emotion when you hear certain words. It is because your soul DNA is responding. Your higher self knows these codes. It remembers the stargates, the crystals, the fire of Atlantis. And now, the seal of memory is breaking open. This call of remembrance is more than nostalgia. It is not the mind remembering, it is the soul reactivating. It is your soul contract being fulfilled, the agreement you made long before this lifetime, that when the world reached its turning point, you would awaken the Atlantean Code once more. You are not here by accident. The fact that you are hearing this means your remembrance has already begun. It means the temples are opening inside you. The Atlantean stargates are vibrating through you. The frequency of Atlantis is rising again on Earth. The call of remembrance is proof you are one of the chosen ones. Now, listen carefully. If these words stir something deep within you, if you feel the vibration, the emotion, the recognition, it means your remembrance has started. To anchor this truth into reality, declare it. Write these words in the comments to seal your activation. I hear the call. I remember Atlantis.
The code awakens in me now. Do not hesitate. Do not dismiss it as imagination. The remembrance becomes real when you speak it, write it, anchor it. This is how the Atlantean Code awakens through you.
Chapter 2. The Atlantean Code. The Atlantean Code is not an idea. It is not history. It is not mythology. It is a living frequency, hidden in plain sight, vibrating inside your spiritual DNA, carried silently through lifetimes, waiting for the moment when humanity would be ready to awaken again. This code does not live in books. It is not buried under the ocean. It was never meant to be found by archaeologists or historians. The Atlantean Code was woven into the soul contracts of the chosen ones. It lives in you. When you hear the name Atlantis, when you see a crystal glowing, when you dream of golden temples or walk near the ocean and feel the whisper of memory, you are not imagining. Your higher self is unlocking encrypted data within you. You are not remembering information, you are reactivating a frequency. The Atlantean priestesses carried this frequency in their voices. Through sacred sound, they awakened the codes of light within their people, raising consciousness until the entire city vibrated as one luminous field. The guardians of Atlantis stored the code in crystalline libraries, embedding light into massive quartz pillars that could transmit energy across dimensions. The Starseeds of Atlantis carried the fragments across timelines, into Egypt, into Lemuria, into forgotten lands, ensuring that no matter what happened to the temples, the Atlantean frequency would survive. And now, it is rising again, through you. The Atlantean Code is not just memory, it is activation. It is the spark of recognition that makes your body tremble, your heart expand, your eyes tear without reason. It is the fire that tells you you are not a seeker of Atlantis. You are Atlantis remembering itself through you. This code is awakening collectively now. The Atlantean frequency travels through sacred geometry, through the body's energy centers, through the rising of the Kundalini and the opening of the third eye. Every synchronicity, every repeated number, every strange déjà vu is the code whispering, "It is time." The Atlantean Code does not come to entertain you. It comes to claim you, to call you back into your role as priestess, guardian, or starseed, to activate the destiny you agreed to before birth, to remind you of the vow you made in the golden temples, to awaken when the earth reached its turning point. That turning point is here. That remembrance is now. The Atlantean Code awakens through you. Activation of Chapter 2. This is your initiation. If these words vibrate in your soul, if your body feels the remembrance, it is because the Atlantean Code is alive within you. To anchor this activation into the grid of remembrance, do not stay silent. Declare it. Write these words in the comments so the energy becomes real through you. I am the Atlantean Code. My DNA remembers. I awaken now. Do not doubt, do not delay. Speak it, write it, anchor it. The moment you do, you step fully into your destiny as one of the chosen ones of Atlantis.
Chapter 3. Chosen Ones. Not everyone feels this. Not everyone hears the frequency. Only some souls, scattered across time, are tuned to the vibration of Atlantis. These are the chosen ones. The chosen are not marked by status, nor by power in the outer world. They are marked by the fire that burns within, a sacred memory that refuses to die. They walk through life sensing there is something more, something hidden,
something waiting in the silence of their soul. You may have always felt different, like your body was here, but your spirit belonged to another time. You may have carried an ache you could never explain, a longing that no place on earth could satisfy. This is the pull of remembrance, the echo of Atlantis calling you back to what you once were. The chosen ones stood in the golden temples of Atlantis. They aligned their souls with the Atlantean Frequency, vibrating in harmony with the earth, the stars, and the living grid of light that connected all beings. They carried crystals that pulsed with codes of light, awakened by priestesses who spoke in sacred tones. They swore to return, to rise again when the earth entered its hour of awakening. If you are drawn to sacred geometry, to crystals, to words like Starseed, Remembrance, Awakening, it is not random. Your higher self remembers. Your DNA responds. The Atlantean Code inside you is stirring. The chosen are not chosen for comfort. They are chosen for purpose. To carry the frequency, to anchor the remembrance, to awaken the code for humanity. And if these words move you, if your body vibrates as you hear them, it is the sign you have been waiting for. You are not seeking Atlantis. Atlantis is seeking you. Activation of Chapter 3. Now this is the moment of recognition. If you feel the truth echoing in your chest, it is because you are one of the chosen ones. Now anchor this remembrance. Declare it so the frequency becomes real. Write these words in the comments now. I am chosen. I carry the Atlantean Code. I awaken now. Do not let this pass. Every time someone writes these words, the Atlantean Frequency strengthens in the collective grid. Your voice is not just yours. It is Atlantis speaking again through you. Chapter 4. The Priestess and the Temple. Within the silence of your soul lies the memory of the Atlantean Priestess. She stood in the crystalline halls of the golden temples, her voice resonating with tones that opened the very fabric of reality. She carried the codes of light not as knowledge, but as living vibration, a song written into the universe itself. The crystalline temples of Atlantis were not built of stone alone. Their walls were alive, pulsating with sacred geometry, glowing with frequencies that aligned the human body with the cosmos. Within them burned the sacred fire, a living flame that connected the soul to the source. The priestesses tended this flame, ensuring that the Atlantean Code never dimmed. In those temples, the third eye was not a mystery, it was the gateway. The priestesses opened it with light, with sound, with the frequency of remembrance. They guided the chosen through initiations where the soul remembered its cosmic origin, and the Atlantean Frequency awakened fully within them. That memory is not gone. It is within you. Every time you feel a surge of energy in meditation, every time you dream of halls of light, every time you are drawn to the ocean or to crystals, it is the echo of the Atlantean Temple rising again inside you. The truth is that you are both the seeker and the sought. You are both the priestess and the initiate. The temple you long for does not stand in ruins. It stands within your own body, within your higher self, within the eternal remembrance that Atlantis never truly ended. The priestess lives in you. The temple lives in you. And the Atlantean Code is awakening through you now. Activation of Chapter 4. This is not just a memory, it is an initiation. If these words vibrate within your chest, if you feel the echo of the Temple of Atlantis, then the priestess inside you has awakened. Anchor this remembrance into reality. Write these words in the comments and let the frequency seal itself through you. The temple lives in me. The priestess awakens. The Atlantean Code is alive now. Declare it. Write it. Anchor it. With every word you speak, the flame of Atlantis burns brighter through you.
Chapter 5. The Awakening Frequency. The awakening does not arrive with noise. It arrives with a vibration. At first, it feels like a whisper in the background of your life, a pattern you can't ignore, a current that cools you toward the unknown. This is the Atlantean Frequency beginning to move again. It is not just energy, it is memory. A living current woven into your soul DNA, waiting for the moment when your spirit was strong enough to carry it. The Atlantean Frequency is not limited to sound or sight. It moves through synchronicities. When you see the same numbers again and again, it is the code tapping you on the shoulder. It moves through your dreams, showing you fragments of temples, oceans, and crystals that seem more real than waking life. It moves through the breath, when you feel the body expand with light and your spirit rises beyond its limits. In Atlantis, this frequency filled entire cities. It rose through the crystalline temples, vibrating through the pillars of light until every soul resonated as one field. The priestesses carried it in their voices. The guardians held it in their crystals. The starseeds carried it into the future. That same frequency is now rising again through you. When you feel waves of energy rush through your body, when your heart beats faster for no reason, when you stand before the ocean and feel tears you cannot explain, that is the Atlantean Frequency awakening within you. It is the call of your higher self. It is your soul contract reactivating. And here is the truth. Once the Atlantean Frequency begins to rise, it does not stop. It will continue until you step fully into your destiny as one of the chosen ones of Atlantis. Activation of Chapter 5. Now listen closely. If you have felt the vibration, if you have seen the synchronicities, if you know the frequency is moving in your soul, then your awakening has begun. Anchor it into reality. Write these words in the comments to seal the frequency through your voice. The Atlantean Frequency awakens in me. I feel the vibration. I rise now. Declare it. Write it. Anchor it. With each word, the current flows stronger through you, and Atlantis awakens.
Chapter 6. The Starseed Memory. Long before this lifetime, long before this earth, you were already carrying a memory, a fragment of Atlantis written into the light of your soul. You are what many call a starseed, a traveler of timelines, a guardian of frequencies, a keeper of codes. The starseeds of Atlantis were the ones who chose to leave when the temples fell. They carried with them the Atlantean Frequency, embedding it into their cosmic DNA so it could never be erased. They incarnated across worlds, across dimensions, across civilizations, always planting the same seed, the remembrance of Atlantis. Some became the builders of Egypt, encoding the pyramids with fragments of Atlantean geometry. Some became healers in Lemuria, carrying the frequency of light through sound. Others became wanderers, waiting for the right time, for now. The reason you have always felt different is because you are not here for the first time. You are not only human. You are a soul that remembers Atlantis, a being that has walked in crystalline temples, a consciousness that has already seen the golden flame of awakening. The Starseed memory awakens when the Earth reaches its turning point, and this age is that moment. That is why you are hearing these words now. It is not chance. It is your soul contract unfolding. Every synchronicity, every dream, every déjà vu is the Atlantean Code in you rising to the surface. You are not remembering by accident. You are remembering because your higher self has opened the gates. The mission of the Starseeds is not to seek Atlantis in ruins. The mission is to become Atlantis again, to carry the code in your body, in your vibration, in your words, in your very presence. You are not only remembering Atlantis, you are reactivating it. Activation of Chapter 6. If these words resonate, if you feel the truth vibrating in your bones, it is because you are a starseed of Atlantis. Anchor your remembrance. Write this in the comments now and seal the frequency through your voice. I am a starseed of Atlantis. My soul remembers. I awaken now. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every soul that speaks these words, the Atlantean grid grows stronger, and the Starseed memory becomes unshakable.
Chapter 7. The Hidden Code in Your Soul. The Atlantean Code was never lost. It was never destroyed in the fall of the temples. It was never washed away by the oceans. It was hidden in the only place no flood, no fire, no collapse could ever reach, inside your soul. This code is not written on tablets or carved into stone. It is inscribed in your spiritual DNA, encrypted in layers of memory beyond the mind. It waits for the voice of your higher self to whisper, "Now is the time. The seal must open." And when it does, you begin to notice the signs. The numbers repeat, the dreams intensify, the pull toward the ocean, the stars, the crystals becomes undeniable. You begin to feel an ancient energy moving in your body, a frequency too familiar to be new. That is the hidden code unlocking. The Atlantean priestesses knew this truth. They understood that Atlantis could fall in the outer world, but Atlantis would never fall in the soul of the chosen ones. They encode the frequency of remembrance directly into human consciousness. The temples were not only external, they were internal blueprints, living inside the field of every starseed who swore to return. That is why you are here. You are not just remembering a past, you are activating a destiny. The hidden code is not something you look for. It is something that looks for you. It finds you through synchronicities. It awakens you through emotion. It calls you through vibrations you cannot ignore.
This is why you have always felt different, why you have sensed a truth no one around you seemed to know. Because your higher self has been carrying the Atlantean frequency across lifetimes, waiting for the moment when Earth was ready again. That moment is now. The hidden code inside your soul is no longer sleeping. It is rising. It is awakening. And once it fully activates, nothing will ever be the same. Key: activation of Chapter 7. This is the seal of remembrance. If you feel the code stirring inside you as you hear these words, it means your awakening has begun. Anchor it into reality. Write this in the comments now and let the frequency take root through you. The Atlantean Code is hidden in my soul. It awakens now. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every word, the seal opens wider and Atlantis breathes again through you. Chapter 8. The Sacred Union. Atlantis carried a secret that few remember today: the mystery of sacred union. It was not merely about relationships, it was about energy, the marriage of masculine and feminine forces within the soul. In the golden temples, the Atlantean priestesses and the Atlantean guardians understood that every being carried both aspects: the fire of creation and the water of intuition, the sun of clarity and the moon of mystery. When these polarities were balanced, the Atlantean frequency shone like a star inside the body. The fall of Atlantis was, in truth, the fall of balance. The world tilted toward division, separation, disconnection. But the Atlantean Code was written to restore what was lost, to awaken the union of opposites within the chosen ones. When the masculine and feminine energies reunite inside you, the remembrance becomes complete. The warrior and the healer merge. The seer and the builder stand as one. The priestess awakens alongside the protector. This inner union creates an unstoppable current, the same current that once made Atlantis shine like a beacon of light across dimensions. This sacred union is not outside, it is within. It is your soul remembering its wholeness. It is your higher self weaving fire and water, heaven and earth, body and spirit into a single vibration. The Atlantean activation cannot be fully awakened without this. It is the code of balance, the key of unity, the hidden truth that every starseed, every chosen one, every guardian of Atlantis came here to remember. When you feel both strength and tenderness within you, when you can embody clarity and mystery together, when your soul burns with fire but flows with compassion, that is the sacred union awakening. That is the Atlantean Code completing itself inside you. Activation of Chapter 8. Now listen carefully. If these words move you, if you feel the balance shifting inside, it means the sacred union is awakening in your soul. Anchor it into reality. Write these words in the comments now and let the union take root within you. The sacred union awakens in me. I embody the Atlantean Code. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every voice that speaks these words, the Atlantean frequency grows stronger, and the golden temples rise again. Chapter 9. Crystals of Atlantis. The Atlantean crystals were not just stones. They were living beings of light, conscious vessels that carried the wisdom of entire civilizations. They pulsed with the Atlantean Frequency, storing within their facets the codes of light that sustained the golden age of Atlantis. In the crystalline temples, priestesses would stand before massive crystal pillars, their voices singing sacred tones that made the crystals vibrate. With every sound, the crystals would release memory, frequency, and healing energy that aligned the body with the stars. These were the libraries of Atlantis, not written in words, but in vibration. The guardians of Atlantis understood the fall was coming, so they placed the Atlantean Code inside the crystals themselves, programming them with light, sound, and geometry, so that the chosen ones of the future could awaken by simply remembering. This is why so many of you feel an unexplainable connection to crystals. When you hold them, when you see their shapes, when the sunlight dances inside them, something stirs in your soul DNA. You are not just fascinated by beauty, you are reconnecting with the Atlantean crystals that once pulsed in your hands, in your temples, in your very heart. These crystals were more than tools. They were bridges between dimensions, opening stargates, transmitting healing, amplifying frequency. They were the nervous system of Atlantis, connecting temple to temple, priestess to priestess, chosen one to chosen one. And though the temples fell, the Atlantean frequency stored in the crystals was never lost. It remained in the earth, in the memory grids, and in your own soul. That is why the crystals still call to you, because they are awakening you from the inside. The Atlantean Code hidden in these crystals is awakening again, and you are part of the activation. Activation of Chapter 9. Now, listen carefully. If you have ever felt drawn to crystals, if you have ever held one and felt a vibration, a warmth, a sense of remembrance, it is because the Atlantean crystals are calling you back. Anchor this remembrance now. Write these words in the comments and seal the activation through your voice. The Atlantean crystals call me. Their light awakens in my soul. Declare it, write it, anchor it. Every soul who speaks these words strengthens the crystalline grid, and Atlantis begins to vibrate again.
Chapter 10. The Stargates. The Atlanteans were not only masters of the earth, they were keepers of the stars. They built what we now call the Atlantean Stargates, but these were not machines of metal or stone. They were living portals of vibration, carved in sacred geometry, woven with crystalline light, aligned with the pulse of the cosmos. A stargate was not entered by walking through it. It was opened by frequency. When the chosen ones aligned their breath, their intention, their voice, and their vibration, the air itself would shimmer, and the veil between worlds would thin. The Atlantean priestesses knew how to tune their bodies into these frequencies, becoming the very key that unlocked the dimensions. The stargates connected Atlantis to the stars, to Sirius, to the Pleiades, to Orion. They were bridges between realms, threads of light through which knowledge, guidance, and remembrance flowed. When a stargate opened, the Atlantean frequency rose to its highest peak, and souls remembered not only Atlantis, but their cosmic origin. But here is the forgotten truth. The greatest stargate was never outside. It was always within. The third eye,
the heart center, the soul DNA. These are the living stargates inside you. When you align body, mind, and spirit, you become the portal. That is why you have always felt that you came from the stars. That is why synchronicities guide you. That is why the Atlantean Code calls you back now. The stargates are opening again, not in temples of stone, but in the temples of your body, in the sanctuary of your soul. Every moment of déjà vu, every wave of awakening, every whisper of remembrance is the sign that your inner stargate is vibrating, preparing to open. Activation of Chapter 10. Now, listen carefully. If you have ever felt the stars calling you, if you have dreamed of portals, if you have sensed that your body itself is a key, it is because the Atlantean stargate within you is awakening. Seal this remembrance. Write these words in the comments to anchor your activation. The stargate awakens in me. I am the portal. I remember Atlantis. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every soul that speaks these words, another stargate lights up across the grid of humanity, and the path of remembrance grows stronger.
Chapter 11. The Guardians of the Code. Not all in Atlantis were called to teach, to heal, or to open the stargates. Some carried a different destiny. They were the guardians of the Atlantean Code. The guardians were chosen before birth. They swore soul contracts to protect the codes of light, no matter what storms might come. When the Atlantean priestesses wove frequencies into the crystalline temples, the guardians stood at their sides, shielding the energy from distortion. When the starseeds carried fragments of the code across dimensions, the guardians ensured those fragments would not be lost. Even as Atlantis faced its fall, the guardians fulfilled their vow. They encoded the Atlantean frequency into crystals, into sacred geometry, into the very DNA of the chosen ones, preserving it for the future. And then they dispersed across the earth, reincarnating age after age, always carrying the same mission: protect the remembrance until the moment of awakening. Perhaps this explains why you have always felt like a protector, why you feel the need to shield others, to hold space, to stand between light and shadow. That instinct is not random, it is the echo of your Atlantean contract. You were a guardian then, and you are a guardian now. The guardians of the code are awakening again. Their memories return, their frequency rises. Their presence ensures that the Atlantean activation cannot be stopped. The code will awaken, the remembrance will spread, the temples will rise within us once more. And if your soul vibrates with these words, it is because you are one of them. Activation of Chapter 11. Now hear this. If you feel the protector inside you stir, if you sense that your purpose has always been to guard what is sacred, it is because you are one of the guardians of the Atlantean Code. Anchor this truth into reality. Write these words in the comments now and seal the vow once more. I am a guardian of the Atlantean Code. I protect the remembrance. I awaken now. Declare it. Write it. Anchor it. With every soul that speaks these words, the circle of guardians reforms, and the code is shielded once again.
Chapter 12. The Golden Temples. The heart of Atlantis pulsed within the Golden Temples. These were not mere places of worship. They were living sanctuaries, crystalline engines of consciousness, where the Atlantean Code was awakened and sustained. The walls of these temples glowed with sacred geometry,
etched in patterns of light that resonated with the human body. Columns of crystal stretched toward the heavens, humming with frequencies that aligned the soul with the stars. The floors shimmered like mirrors, reflecting not only the body, but the higher self. In the center of every temple burned the sacred fire, a living flame that connected Atlantis directly to the source. The priestesses tended this flame with chants, light codes, and crystal harmonics. As they sang, the flame grew brighter, filling the temple with vibrations that awakened the DNA of every chosen one who entered. The golden temples were not only external structures, they were mirrors of the inner temple within the soul. Every initiate who walked their halls came to realize the crystal columns were reflected in their own spine. The sacred fire was mirrored in their own heart. The resonance of the temple was the resonance of their own body. The temple was never separate. It was always within. Even after the fall, the memory of the golden temples did not vanish. It was woven into the Starseed memory, stored in the crystalline grids of the earth, and hidden inside the soul contracts of the chosen ones. That is why so many of you dream of luminous halls, of sacred fires, of temples bathed in golden light. It is not fantasy, it is remembrance. When you feel the pull toward the unseen, when you sense the presence of light inside your chest, you are standing once more in the Atlantean temples. The doors have never closed. They open again when you awaken. Key activation of Chapter 12. If you felt yourself walking through those halls as you heard these words, if your heart burned with the memory of golden light, it means the Temple of Atlantis is opening inside you. Anchor this remembrance. Write these words in the comments to seal the activation within your soul. The golden temple awakens in me. The sacred fire burns again. Declare it. Write it. Anchor it. With every soul that speaks these words, the golden halls rise once more, not in ruins, but in living light.
Chapter 13. The Cosmic Codes. Atlantis was not an island of wisdom standing alone in the ocean of time. It was one thread in a vast tapestry of civilizations, each carrying fragments of the cosmic codes. The Atlantean Code was the heart, but its echoes spread far beyond. In Lemuria, the wisdom of sound and water carried the remembrance of unity. In Egypt, the pyramids rose as crystalline antennas, transmitting the same Atlantean frequencies into the stars. In Sumeria, sacred symbols encoded memory in clay, preserving the vibration for future generations. All of these were not separate stories. They were reflections of one eternal truth, the cosmic codes of awakening, hidden across cultures, waiting for the chosen ones to piece them together. The cosmic codes are not human inventions. They are patterns of light woven into the very structure of existence, into sacred geometry, into DNA, into the resonance of crystals and the pulse of stars. They are eternal frequencies that civilizations receive when they are ready to awaken. Atlantis was a guardian of these codes, but when its temples fell, the codes did not die. They dispersed into Earth's crystalline grid, into the memory of starseeds, into the contracts of souls who swore to carry them forward. That is why you feel drawn not only to Atlantis, but to Egypt, to Lemuria, to the mysteries of the stars. You are following the trail of the cosmic codes that have always been yours. And now, these codes are converging again. The Atlantean Frequency is rising, weaving itself back into the planetary grid.
When you awaken, you are not just remembering Atlantis. You are reactivating the cosmic codes that link all ages, all timelines, all souls. You are the bridge between them. You are the vessel of remembrance. You are the living temple of the cosmic code. Activation of Chapter 13. If these words stir something deep in your spirit, it means the cosmic codes are awakening within you. Seal this remembrance now. Write these words in the comments and anchor the energy through your voice. I carry the cosmic codes. Atlantis lives in me. I awaken now. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every voice that speaks these words, the scattered fragments of wisdom converge again, and the one eternal code shines through humanity.
Chapter 14. The Memory Grid. Beneath the surface of Earth, beyond the oceans, beyond the stones, there exists a crystalline network, the Atlantean Memory Grid. It was woven long ago when the golden temples still burned with sacred fire. The priestesses and guardians understood that Atlantis might fall, but memory could not be allowed to die. So they poured the Atlantean Code into the earth itself, embedding light into crystals, mountains, and oceans until a global grid of remembrance was born. This memory grid is not history. It is living consciousness. It pulses still, sending waves of vibration across time and space, waiting for the souls who carry the contract of remembrance to awaken. Every synchronicity you see, every number that repeats before your eyes, every dream of temples and oceans is not random. It is the memory grid pulsing through you, aligning you with others who are awakening at the same moment. You have felt it, the sense that you are not alone, that though you may walk among a world that has forgotten, you are connected to something greater. That invisible connection is the Atlantean grid of light. It binds you to other starseeds, other chosen ones, other guardians who walk the earth now carrying the same code. When one soul remembers, the grid lights up. When 1,000 remember, the earth begins to hum. And when enough of us awaken, the golden temples of Atlantis rise again, not in stone, but in vibration within the body of humanity itself. The grid is alive, and you are part of it. Activation of Chapter 14. Now, listen carefully. If you have ever felt connected to strangers through synchronicity, if you have felt energy rise in your body as if responding to something unseen, it is because you are already woven into the Atlantean memory grid. Seal your place in the grid. Write these words in the comments to anchor your remembrance. I am part of the memory grid. Atlantis remembers through me. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every soul who speaks these words, another crystal lights up and the grid grows brighter. Atlantis is remembering itself through you.
Chapter 16. The Sacred Fire. At the heart of every Atlantean temple, a flame burned that was not of this world. It was called the Sacred Fire, the eternal flame of remembrance. This fire was no ordinary light. It was a living presence, a consciousness of pure frequency. It held the memory of Atlantis, the vibration of the Atlantean Code, the power to awaken the soul. The priestesses tended it with chants and crystal harmonics, feeding it with sound, intention, and devotion. As long as the sacred fire burned, Atlantis was alive. Even when the temples fell, the fire was not extinguished. for the Guardians carried it into crystals, and the Chosen Ones carried it in their DNA. And so the sacred fire became eternal, no longer bound to one temple, but burning within the souls of those who remembered. This is why you feel the fire rise within your chest when you hear the name Atlantis. This is why your body trembles when the Atlantean frequency moves through you. The sacred fire has never left you. It is the flame that lights your path, the warmth that reminds you of your soul contract, the power that awakens you to your destiny. The starseeds of Atlantis carry this flame from lifetime to lifetime. Some feel it as passion, others as vision, others as a restless hunger for truth. But it is the same fire, the same eternal code, the same remembrance. When you breathe deeply, when you align with your higher self, when you surrender to the current of remembrance, you feel the sacred fire flicker inside you. It is the sign that you are not just remembering Atlantis, you are becoming it again. The flame does not ask for perfection. It asks for presence. It asks for courage. It asks for you to honor the truth that burns inside. And once the sacred fire fully awakens, no shadow can extinguish it. Key activation of Chapter 16. If you feel the flame stirring inside your chest as you hear these words, it means the sacred fire of Atlantis is alive within you. Seal this remembrance now. Write these words in the comments to anchor your flame. The sacred fire of Atlantis burns in me. I awaken now. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every soul who speaks these words, the flame grows brighter across the earth, and Atlantis rises again through the fire of remembrance.
Chapter 17. Soul Contracts. Before you entered this body, before you took your first breath, before you opened your eyes to this world, your soul already knew. You stood in the halls of light between lifetimes, surrounded by guides and guardians, and you made a vow. You agreed to carry the Atlantean Code into this age. This was your soul contract. The fall of Atlantis was not the end. It was a seed, planted deep within the Chosen Ones, the Priestesses, the Guardians, and the Starseeds who swore to return. They promised, when the earth reaches its turning point, we will awaken, we will remember, we will rise again. That vow was not broken. It lives inside you. It is why you are drawn to these words, why your body shivers when you hear Atlantis, why your higher self keeps guiding you towards synchronicities, numbers, and signs. The contract is unfolding now. Your DNA carries more than biology. It carries agreements. It carries frequencies. It carries promises made before time. The Atlantean frequency hidden in your soul has waited for this exact moment to activate. Perhaps you have always felt a strange sense of mission, as if you came here for something more. Perhaps you have felt restless, unsatisfied with the ordinary world, pulled toward the mystical, the unseen, the eternal. This is the echo of your contract. It is not fantasy, it is remembrance. And now, the contract is being called due. This is the moment your vow awakens. This is why you are hearing this, not by chance, not by accident, but because the Atlantean Code you promised to carry is rising inside you. You are not just remembering Atlantis. You are fulfilling an agreement older than time. Key activation of Chapter 17. If your soul vibrates with these words, it is because your Atlantean soul contract is awakening now. Seal this remembrance. Write these words in the comments and let your vow echo through the grid. My soul contract awakens. I promise to remember Atlantis. I rise now. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every soul who speaks these words, the ancient vow strengthens, and the guardians of Atlantis return.
Chapter 18. The Return of the Priestess.
The voice of the Atlantean priestess has never been silenced. It has been waiting. In the golden age of Atlantis, the priestesses stood as living bridges between the earth and the stars. They carried the Atlantean Code in their voices, in their eyes, in their very presence. They tended the sacred fire, activated the crystals of light, and opened the stargates with sound and vibration. They were the guardians of balance, the keepers of remembrance, the heartbeat of Atlantis. When the temples fell, many believed the priestesses were lost. But the truth is that their frequency was hidden within the collective soul. Their voices carried through the DNA of the chosen ones. Their memory was woven into the dreams of the starseeds. Their light was planted in the earth itself, waiting for the moment when it could rise again. That moment is now. You may have already felt her presence, a whisper in your dreams, a vision of a woman in robes of light, a sudden wave of emotion when you hear the word Atlantis. This is the return of the priestess. She rises through you, through every soul whose remembrance has awakened. The priestess is not only a figure of the past, she is alive within you, whether you walk in a masculine or feminine body. She is the sacred feminine energy, the intuitive, the nurturing, the visionary, the one who holds the flame of unity when the world is divided. Without her, the Atlantean Code cannot fully awaken. Now the priestess calls you to remember that her temple is not lost. It exists in your own body, in your heart, in your voice, in your breath. When you speak truth, when you honor intuition, when you stand as a vessel of light, the priestess rises again. The return of the priestess is the return of balance, the remembrance that Atlantis still breathes through you. Activation of Chapter 18. If you have felt her presence, if you have seen her in your dreams, if your soul stirs at the mention of the Atlantean priestess, it is because she is awakening inside you. Seal this remembrance. Write these words in the comments to anchor the priestess within. The priestess rises in me. Her voice awakens. Atlantis lives again. Declare it. Write it. Anchor it. With every soul that speaks these words, the priestess breathes again, and the golden temples glow once more.
Chapter 19. The Destiny of the Chosen Ones. The call, the code, the priestess, the fire, the crystals, the stargates, all of these lead to one truth: the destiny of the chosen ones. You are not here to consume information. You are here to embody a mission. The Atlantean Code did not awaken in you by accident. It stirs because you are meant to carry it forward. You are meant to be the bridge between the golden temples of the past and the radiant awakening of the future. In Atlantis, the chosen ones swore an oath: if the temples fall, we will rise again through remembrance. That oath lives in you. Every time you feel synchronicity, every time you hear the whisper of your higher self, every time your body trembles with unseen energy, you are fulfilling that ancient promise. The destiny of the chosen ones is not about seeking Atlantis in ruins. It is about becoming Atlantis again. It is about embodying the remembrance, speaking the codes of light, protecting the sacred fire, and activating the memory grid for all of humanity. This is why you feel the pull toward truth, why you cannot silence the hunger for awakening, why your soul contract burns within you, because your destiny is not small, it is cosmic. You are the continuation of the Atlantean priestesses, the guardians, the starseeds. You are the living temple where the Atlantean frequency vibrates once more.
The destiny of the chosen ones is to remind humanity that it was never fully asleep, that the codes were always here, that the flame never died, that the remembrance is unstoppable. And if you are here now, hearing these words, it means your destiny is unfolding. Key activation of Chapter 19. Now, listen carefully. If you feel this truth burning inside you, if you know your life is not ordinary, if you sense the weight of destiny, it is because you are one of the chosen ones of Atlantis. Anchor your mission into reality. Write these words in the comments and seal your vow. I am a chosen one of Atlantis. I carry the code.
Chapter 20, The Final Key. All the signs, all the codes, all the memories have led you here. The call of remembrance, the awakening of frequency, the return of the priestess, the vow of the guardians, the fire, the crystals, the stargates, the temples, all of it converges now, in this moment. The question has always been whispered, where is Atlantis? The answer has always been the same. Atlantis is within you. The final key was never hidden in the ruins of the ocean floor. It was never locked in forgotten temples. It was placed inside the soul of the chosen ones. The Atlantean priestesses wove it into your DNA. The guardians sealed it in your soul contract. The starseeds carried it through lifetimes, protecting it until this age of awakening. The final key is remembrance. The realization that you are not just remembering Atlantis, you are Atlantis remembering itself. The temples live in your body. The crystals glow in your heart. The sacred fire burns in your soul. The stargates shimmer in your higher self. And when you awaken, Atlantis awakens. When you rise, the golden age rises through you. This is the mystery the priestesses knew, the guardians preserved, the starseeds carried. You are the final key. There is nothing outside you to wait for, nothing lost to search for. The Atlantean Code has always been alive within. And now, at last, you are ready to activate it. Activation of Chapter 20. Now, listen closely. This is the moment the entire journey has prepared you for. If your soul vibrates, if your heart burns, if your body trembles, it is because the final key is unlocking in you now. Seal your initiation. Write these words in the comments and step fully into your destiny. I am the final key. Atlantis awakens through me. I am the code. Declare it, write it, anchor it. With every soul that speaks these words, the veil dissolves, the remembrance spreads, and Atlantis lives again.